our next quarterback, who'd you rather, which is Russell Wilson, still quarterback of the Denver Broncos, at least as of this broadcast, or Jordan Love. So Jordan Love, interesting, of course, going into his first year as a starter. You know that. I didn't have to say that. Russell Wilson, though, gets a new coach and hopefully one that can unlock him in Sean Payton with the Broncos. So I was shocked to see these two this close together, I guess. One certainly much older than the other, but Jordan Love has a lot of questions. So how do you feel about this pairing here?
This one is pretty easy for me. And I think the reason that they are fairly close together is, like you said, Russ has had a couple down seasons here, not looked like himself. And then we liked what we've seen out of LaFleur's offense here with, Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, it's Rodgers, and we're expecting a bit of a dip in production.
Right.
I mean, I hope not, knock on wood,
Sure.
that he just steps right in and puts up Aaron Rodgers types numbers. That'd be amazing. No one is expecting that. But for me, it's Russell Wilson. We've seen him, kind of going back to what I said with Herbert, we've seen him do it at a high level before. The weapons he has on that offense, it's got a solid offensive line. They've got highly drafted wide receivers in Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. They got Albert O, who is a fairly high tight end. And then I'm missing Dulcich. Stepped up last year and looked really good. You got Javonte Williams coming off of injury, I know, but they got the satellite back with it all, and Samaje Perine to help take pressure off and catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. So I just like the weapons better than what the Packers have. And it's nothing against the young wide receivers the Packers have. Christian Watson flashed great. Jalen Reed, I think, is going to be a really interesting personnel fit. Romeo Dobbs, he did flash at times when healthy. So, I mean, I think trajectory is going up for that group, but they're very young and unproven. And with an unproven quarterback at the helm, I would rather take Russell Wilson in this scenario.
See, this is really interesting. I think I'm coming at this from a different approach now. I see what you're saying with the weapons and all that. Again, 2 years from now, it could look a lot different, what the weapons are and who's there on each team. With Russell Wilson, he's been slowly dipping down. Downgrade, 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 downgrade. And obviously plummeted last season. But part of that is also he is now going to be a 35-year-old quarterback who made up for a decent chunk of his fantasy value, still on the ground. Like, he was not a primary rushing quarterback the way that like maybe a Jalen Hurts is, but he was able to pick up a good baseline with his legs. And now, probably because of concerns of injury and other things, like, he doesn't want to do that maybe as much anymore, which I understand. Also, you're 35, you're not 25 anymore.
Exactly.
So you're on your way down, still there. Not to say that Jordan Love is going to be a great rushing quarterback. I don't think that was the case in college. I don't expect it to be the case in the NFL. But I do think that they both have a very small time frame to work with. Jordan Love, I think his leash is maybe a little bit longer because of the investment and how long we've waited to see him. They extended him, the Packers did recently here. Not by much, but they did a little bit. You can't just give him 1 year and then let it be done. Let it be it. Russell Wilson, maybe the second year of the Broncos with Sean Payton. I don't know how bad that contract is after this year. I think it gets significantly lighter. I could see a world where Russell Wilson is not a big-time quarterback after this year.
True. Counterpoint.
Yeah,
he looked terrible last year, but after they fired the head coach last year and they played with the interim the last couple of games, he looked much better. So was his bad play last year a function of just piss poor play calling and bad offensive scheme? And now you've got Sean Payton, who we've seen what he did with short quarterback Drew Brees, So, I mean, I think, we can all say Sean Payton is a vast improvement there in the coaching front. So I'm expecting an improvement. Will we see vintage Russ from 5 years ago? Probably not. But I do think he will outperform Jordan Love this year, at a minimum this year.
This year, I absolutely could see
Yeah.
that. And so if you're looking at just pure trade quality, like go get Russell now, maybe if Jordan Love has a down year, then you can trade for him later on and it won't cost you as much. So that I fully agree with. One thing about the coaching switch late last year, though, I see this every time a coach gets fired. There's like a 1 or 2 or maybe even
There
3
is a
game
bump.
peak right after where the team's like, fuck that guy. Let's go do it, everybody. And it doesn't always last. But yes, Sean Payton, huge improvement there.